Should I say okay? Should I press okay on my end? I've seen something
Yeah,
came
oh
up.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. And also I think I need to press to record on my end.
All right, I press okay here.
Okay. There we
All
are.
right. Okay. Should I press okay on my end? I've seen something
Yeah,
came
oh
up.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. And also I think I need to press to record on my end. All
All
right,
right, I
so we're
press okay
live.
here. All right.
Good morning, Richard.
Grand
Okay.
rising to you, my lady.
Okay, should I press okay on my end? I've seen something Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. And also I think I welcome need to What People Miss. Um, Today, I'm so excited to introduce you to my audience. But before we get into our conversation, I'm just going to welcome those of you who are watching live. Um, what People Miss is a podcast where I invite you into deep conversations about the subtleties of life, where life is actually lived. And it's based on a quote by Mozart. You know, he says, um, the music is not in the notes, but in the silence between them. And so that's where we find joy and harmony. And through one of my previous guests, Abio Noel, I met Richard some weeks back and found out that he wrote this book. And it's like been all consuming for me. So I'm so honored to introduce you to Richard Noel, who is a former engineer turned multi-talented creative, a published author, producer, professional musician, and like you're going to hear about all of his sound therapy and how he founded Drum Up for Peace, held in collaboration with International Peace Day, which is something I've always wanted to create an event for International Peace Day. And I'm just like so honored to talk to you who have consistently done this.
Mhm.
So tell me, Richard, how did you come to this work of creating joy and harmony?
Well, and thank you once more. Thank you for your listening audience. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate that. And my intention is really to share, my knowledge and skills on this journey of life. As I always say, we are here to inspire until we expire. So,
Yeah.
moment. So to answer your question, I grew up in the twin island of Trinidad and Tobago, home of the steel pan, calypso, and the limbo. And there's some things that when I moved to the US in 1998, um, there's, I definitely realized that the life that I grew up in I was so privileged to live a life of joy. People from all over the world come to the island, for vacation. We have, as you know, in Trinidad and Tobago, the carnival celebration, and people actually come to have a joyful time. And it was a normal, everyday thing. Like people in the islands didn't have the best of everything, but they make the best of everything. So I grew up in a rich cultural heritage with a lot of music, drumming, cultural expression. And I realized that really assisted the majority of the community to be stress free. A lot of times people say, people in the islands, they live laid back, but it was really a joyful time. So when I moved to the US, I was so focused in accomplishing and really expanding my aeronautical engineering career. I really, it was a task where I had to be not just successful, but to be really valuable in what I do. And I was so focused on that for so many years, focus, focus, focus. And then one day in 2002, I went to Las Vegas.
Just
I'm serious. I went to Las Vegas. And for that day in Las Vegas on the strip, man, I just see, I don't know if people was winning money that day, but everybody was so joyful. And I say, you know what, man, in my heart, I really miss this. I know I couldn't go back to the islands because, I really established myself here, which was great. And I say, wow, man, I really miss that joy. And that really hit me because it was so much, you know, stress. And I realized everybody who retired, they didn't live long, just for 1 year, 2 years, never enjoyed their retirement because of the stress and the hazardous materials you have to be around. And I say, no, man, I really have to get back into this, the joyful life. All right, so how could I really live that joyful life, but still sustain the life that I live right now, maintain my family? So I say, all right, well, you know what? The only way I can do this, I have to create it.
Mm.
So what I did, it started off the journey.
You know what, Richard? That is so valuable that what you just said. What did
Uh-huh.
you say? You decided to create it.
Yes, I decided to create it.
So many humans, right?
Yeah.
That's the subtlety.
Hmm.
You had a choice, right? You could have just been like, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I have to go to Vegas once a year. But no, you were like, I want this to be my lifestyle. I'm going to create it. Yeah.
Correct.
So
And
I just wanted to pull that out. So go
no,
ahead.
but you see the most important thing there. Joy is a lifestyle. Joy
Mhm.
is not something you buy, right? If you buy joy and you lose it, you lose your joy. Same thing, a lot of people I realize, if you want to get involved in a relationship and you don't have joy and believe the relationship will bring you joy, no, you have to go into the relationship with joy. So you wouldn't be destroyed. You know?
And like, so audience, I have to tell you, this his whole book is like this. Like he talks so poetically and like, okay.
So it's so come on. So joy is here. Joy is so all right. So the key thing about joy is we could sit here and we could have joy and we could laugh. That's great. But how do you have joy when you get a phone call, a text, an email, when you hear breaking news, when there's a death in the family, right? That's when we are tested. Because you could have joy right now, and if you get a phone call saying that a loved one died, grief is will cancel out joy immediately. So a lot of times, the key thing is not just having joy or not just creating joy. How could you sustain your joy? Because my lady, your cells in your body, I'm not a doctor, but I have a lot of documents on this. No, yeah, yeah. Your, your cellular tissue, so your issues affect your cellular tissues, and that is what breaks down and allow us to our immune system and we get sick. All right. So the key thing is that there's so much chaos in the world and there's so much chaos around us. We are getting information left, right, and center, right? And the whole thing is how could you create joy in your everyday life that you could definitely live the life that you desire in? Because I'm serious. I have the privilege, my lady, to have so much lucrative contracts with so many different companies. And I could see when I go and I work with all these executives and all these people, so much people don't have joy. So joy, you have to give yourself permission to have joy,
Mm.
right? So a lot of times we live in a society where they tell you joy is only for Friday and Saturday. And then you go back to Sunday, and then Monday is depression. And as I mentioned to you, I'm not a doctor, but anybody in the medical field know that Monday, especially in the United States, have the most amount of heart attacks between the hours of 5 and 11 because people are doing things that they are not joyful for,
Mhm.
right? So even though you might be in a situation, how could you create joy? So let's come back to, all right, it's very simple to say I have to create joy, but how could you create joy? How you create joy, and I'm going to give you this, boom. How you could create joy is by truly enhancing your mood. Your mood,
Wait a minute, Richard. That sounds like work.
well, it's not work, it's a lifestyle.
Yes.
So, what is the catalyst for joy and how could you maintain joy? So think about it. Every social media, everybody's working on your mood. Amazon is telling you if you buy this, it's gonna enhance your mood. If you buy this car, if you live in this house, if you win the lottery, if you do this, it's enhancing your mood. All right. So how can I enhance my mood? By invoking the chemicals in our body, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. I call it dose. Yeah, dose. Dopamine, oxytocin,
Yes.
serotonin, endorphins. Right. Dopamine is the rewarding drug. So, right, if I want to create joy, what do I do for reward? What do I do every day to reward myself?
Mm.
That's what we think about. We think about reward as what is a reward? A reward is doing something that you feel fulfilling, you feel content, you feel great about it, right?
What if people are not in the practice of rewarding themselves? What if they're just like, oh, I did my work, I'm home, and like maybe their reward is just sitting down or taking a shower. Is that
Well, sitting down, well, all right, so everybody have ways and means of doing things. So if somebody decide to sit down and take a shower and reflect on gratitude,
okay?
that could be a reward. So I sit down, I take a shower because you can't force people, or I cannot say one way is right to do something, right?
Mhm.
So my reward
Mhm.
is buying or things that will allow me to continue to elevate and evolve in my line of expertise and my line of influence, my area of influence, right?
Mhm.
So your reward, my reward is also gratitude, giving thanks, right? I reward myself, right? My
Mhm.
reward could also be buying a meal, something that I like. No, this is what I want to share to you, and this is where I truly separate myself. Are
Mhm.
you ready for this? Give me a drum roll. All right. So the key thing is not what you eat that defeats you, is what is eating you that takes you out.
Ah,
No,
yes.
but think about it.
Mhm.
So we focus a lot of times on diet, right? And so there's a lot of times if you want to reward yourself, you could eat something or you could do something that makes you feel rewarded, that spark that dopamine level. So remember, dopamine is reward, positive, right?
Right.
So so eating a good meal, taking care of the body, right? And also really, really, really conditioning the mind to what you want by doing some very powerful incantation. I believe in incantation. I don't believe in affirmation.
What's incantation?
Incantation is how you learn the alphabet. What
Uh-huh.
That's incantation.
Oh, okay.
That's why it stays with you for the rest of your life. Now, if you go on Google and you put the definition for incantation is repeating a series of words, I in because when you sing anything, it stays within both hemispheres of the brain. But if
Mm.
I just repeat something like that, it don't have to stay. So think about many establishments, right? We always remember the song, not what was said. Let's say, like, give you an example, like church. People will always remember what was sung in the worship service, but not
Right. Yeah.
they don't remember what the pastor say, right? So, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, that's true.
Right. So when you go to a concert, you could sing along, you can't talk along. All right. So what does that really mean? That means that if you sing to yourself what you desire, you will have much better results. So like you could tell yourself, I am healthy and wealthy, overflowing with wisdom and financial prosperity. I am happy. Yes, I am. I am strong. Yes, I am. I'm lovely. Yes, I am. That sort of rhythmic. So you talk about how in infants and in teaching, how do we teach kids?
By
How if you want
singing.
singing, right? So think
Yeah.
about it as an adult. What you want to stick or how you want to condition your mind, you got to sing it to yourself.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, Richard.
Mhm.
You know what I just thought about? Two things. Like people listen to some. music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't always pay attention to the words,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And those words may not be feeding them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They may be defeating them, as you say,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
then the second thing you make me think of is when I was going through my dark night of the
Mm-hmm.
soul, right? I started listening to love songs,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I would sing them to myself. You know
Mm-hmm.
how like sometimes in the story it's like a man and a woman,
Mm-hmm.
be me and me, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so I started singing so that I would love me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And fall in love with me. So it's true. Incantation is very powerful.
But a lot of times when people look at incantation, they say witchcraft, and people put witchcraft, I'm serious because that's what you're going to see on Google, like witchcraft in a spell. What is a spell? What's the definition for spell? Spell is come from spelling. So when you want to cast a spell, you write it on the paper, you spell it, and then you burn it, whatsoever you want to do. But let's come back to how we could live our everyday life and really have joy. Remember, you and I have the ability. We don't have to try. We have options in our life every day. I wake up this morning. What's the first thing I do? I was so grateful and thankful for the opportunity and the privilege for being alive. All right. So what do I tell myself? You could sing to yourself that today is going to be an amazing day. Everything that I get involved in, I experience joy. I experience happiness. Experience fulfillment. Experience value. So you have one of the key things in life is consistency, persistency, and tenacity. My lady, I see so many people on this journey of life waiting on something to happen in order for them to have joy. Some people say they're going to have joy when they win the lottery. Some people say they're going to have joy when they get this or they get that. No, in spite of your situation, you have to create joy. Remember the saying, you got to take a licking and keep on ticking.
Yes.
All right. How could we tick? Now, I'll give you an X bomb right here. Boom. Drum roll. Now, one of the key things for joy, again, is what you are looking forward to inspires you.
Mm,
What you are not looking forward to worries you.
yes.
So, joy forever, worry never. Woo.
Joy forever. I love it.
Because think about it. What are you looking? All right. Were you? All right. I was looking forward to this podcast.
Mhm.
So, yes, last night I had a session, a group session in spiritual drumming. And I went to that. I said, all right, well, woo, tomorrow morning I have a session. So I look forward to that, right? And that brings joy. That sparked in my dopamine levels, oxytocin, serotonin. Don't forget, oxytocin is the love hormone. Serotonin is a mood stabilizer. And endorphins is the painkiller. How do you kill the pain? We have to invoke all these. All right, I'll definitely break that down. So I look forward to that. All right, so when I finish this podcast, what am I looking forward to? So I have what I am looking forward to. Hear what's happening. What you are not looking forward to devours you. So,
Oof.
so think about, are you looking forward? So think about it. And that you could never have joy with that. Remember, joy is a consciousness. And we as individuals, we could only, that's why I say live in the moment. While you're living in the moment, what is your atonement? What are you focusing on? So if you try to look at television and be on your phone at the same time, it don't work. You got to focus on one thing. So you can't have joy and have worry and have pain. It's either, all right, my consciousness is joy. So I'm staying in the moment of joy so I wouldn't be destroyed. And that's what you have to do. So how do you do that? How do you sustain that? By your inner conversation. What do you tell yourself within yourself about yourself is really important. What is my inner conversation? This is why it's very important to refer to your inner conversation as I am. Why
Wow.
is that? Yes, I am. Because when you say I am is the awareness of being, and the awareness of being is the way to be what you want to be. So you can't just want to align it. So we have to be in alignment. If I what I want to be in alignment with it. I don't have to fight it. I don't have to fight for joy. So what am I in alignment with? I'm in alignment with the cosmic energy that brings forth joy. So what will I do? Remember, let me give you an X bomb here. Drum roll.
Uh,
You turn into what you tune into.
you turn into what you tune into.
Right.
Okay.
And I mentioned that in the book because if I go and tune into negative media, what do you think will happen? I could never have joy.
No.
I could go on certain social media platforms right now, and what happened? I just get fearful. Like everything is going down. All right, the world is about to end. Right? So what do I have to tune into? I have to tune in to the things that brings forth joy in my life. Now, let's go. All right, I'm talking about joy. But in order for you to really live a life of joy, happiness, you got to go through happiness first. What is happiness? Happiness is a feeling. It's a feeling. So I got to do things that makes me feel happy. Then joy is what you put in motion, which we call emotion. Yes. So let's go back. Give you an example about that.
Okay.
So, so remember, I feel I stir up things to make me feel happy. Look, think about any holiday, right? What do we do to really amplify
Celebrate.
the holiday? Eh?
We celebrate and
No, or before we celebrate, what do we do?
we plan with people that we want to be with. And
That's great, but you gotta get decoration, right?
yes.
Right. So the decoration brings the feeling.
Yeah.
And when you have the decoration, that's when you put that joy in motion, and then you cultivate a mood that sustain that. When every feeling is different for every holiday, you don't want the same feeling for Halloween, for Christmas, or
Yeah.
Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa. It's a different thing. So what you and I have to do, we have to have effective morning, night and morning ritual that will bring forth that feeling that will keep joy in motion, because a lot of things is coming at us, my lady. Things are coming left, right, and center. Even though you might want to hear something, some family member will, people communicate through videos. People communicate through, may just send you something. Some people, this is their new assignment, is to just send video for you, send videos for you, send videos for you, because that creates that dopamine level in them. They're sending videos for you, and you mightn't want to click on it. Some might be interested, some might be great, and but some could steal your joy. So you got to be really careful what you tune into. So this is why it's important for you to, let's go, meditate. All right. When we hear the word meditate, let's break down meditation. Meditation is medication for your spiritual sensation, right? So,
I love it.
right.
The
So,
alliteration is amazing.
no, meditation, because we look at meditation. So then somebody say, I can't meditate. No, meditation, we always meditating.
Yes,
Worrying is negative meditation,
it
because
is.
we are focusing on the outcome that we don't desire. So meditation is focused thought, right? All right, let's come back to the cat. It's a joy again. You have to consistently command joy in your life. We have the community, we have the ability to command. So when every morning, remember, every morning command, this day, evening and night. Don't forget evening and night, because we always say this day, evening and night. I command joy in my life. You know,
Mm.
in the English language, we use words such as ecstatic. What is ecstatic?
It's exuberance. It's like real excitement.
So why we can't live like that? Why do we live like that when we go to a ball game? For a ball to go in a hole or between a pole, and we just unfold all that joy and woo. Right, but why we can't live like that? Why I can't wake up and say, man, I have a privilege for being alive this morning. Whoa. Let me see what I'm gonna do. All right, so let's come back. What sparks your dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins? Activities. Go out
Mm.
in nature, ground your feet in the dirt. It removes the inflammation. Go out in nature, have have that structure that every morning our subconscious mind operate on consistency, persistency, and tenacity. When you don't feel like do it, going to the gym, doing all these things, going for a walk, taking a swim, doing your incantation, doing mirror therapy, looking in front of the mirror and telling yourself, the things that will allow you, because what you see in front of the mirror, that's what other people are seeing.
Hmm.
So doing envisioning, seeing everything before you leave home. See yourself reaching there, because you don't have to reach there. You could get an accident. So see yourself having an amazing day, evening, and night. See all that. See the meetings you're going to see. Look, me like this. I wake up this morning. I see the session going great. I see that. I hear you telling me thank you at the end. Go to the end. These are the things, because if you don't go to the end and you stay in between, it could bring sport fear, and what you fear appear, right? What you
Yeah.
fight ignite, what you hate circulate, and what you resist persist. That's why I was saying you don't have to fight to have joy. You have to create joy, and you have to align yourself. What is alignment? By your inner conversation, your incantation, your your awakening of your dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin in the body. I want you to think about COVID. Why it is during COVID there was so much suicide and there was so much depression? Why is that?
People were separated from each other and they had negative incantations.
Negative incantation. But one of the key things, people were separate from each other. And what happened is that we wasn't looking, remember I tell you, what you are looking forward to inspire you. What you are not looking forward to devours you or worries you. So you wasn't looking forward because we are bombarded by the news. So if right now we live in a world where the politics is taking over social media, and everything is nothing to look forward to, or the stock market is going to crash, or this, or that. You cannot have joy, because everywhere you go and everywhere you gather with people, the conversation will be about political affiliation, or wars and rumors of wars and everything. Think about it. I realize most people, when they gather together, what they talk about? They talk about what's happening in the world affairs, talk about this. No, come on. And while they talk about the world affairs, you are not fulfilled. You are not joyful.
Right. And then people are like, they're not looking forward to anything because it's just like, what am I even here for? What am I doing anything for, right? The world's just gonna end. It's
Right.
funny because I want to just ask you one question. I was having a conversation with a young person yesterday. I was so amazed, like just surprised. This
Mhm.
person is like just barely in their 30s, and they're just like, joy isn't something that you can have. It's like something like some people don't have the capacity for joy, basically is what this person was saying. And I was like, everyone has the capacity for joy. That's our technology. That's the way our bodies were built. And so like what would you say to someone like that? That they just they're not looking forward to anything because they don't look forward to joy because they don't think they have the capacity for it.
Well, as I mentioned to you, we have the capacity, we have the ability, we have the capability, we have the dexterity, we have the ingenuity for joy. It's all in how you condition your mind and the trillions of cells in your body. Now, this individual that is talking to you, they have not experienced joy of that level. So it's not something in their conditioning of their mind. So you could talk to somebody like me who grew up in the Caribbean, and you could talk to somebody who grew up in a community of just war and everything. They don't even believe that joy exists, but all these things exist within us. So for that individual need to, let me give you an X bomb. Give me a drum roll. That individual need to go where he or she feels happy and not crappy, right? Because that's what's happening. They are not putting themselves in the environment that will invoke joy. So let's say if that individual want to go in an environment that invoke joy, the first thing comes to mind, oh no, I'm not going there. I'm going to get shot, or something will happen. That's what happened that's what they create. So they don't want to put themselves, so they're putting themselves in isolation environment that is invoking depression. Now remember, depression is lack of expression. And if you want to come out of depression, you got to find an expression that will take you out of depression because your expression leads to your impression. Woo! So
Mm-hmm.
that's why during COVID, when they took away our expression, people went into depression. So what are you expressing every day? Are you expressing joy? Are you expressing hate? What are you expressing? When people see you, what are you expressing? Always remember that people only say good things about you when you die but you can't hear. So you have to tell yourself every day, find ways and means of eh, telling yourself things that invoke joy. It works. This is how, just remember, everything around us functions. Humans function in a particular way. In spite of the growth in AI, think about it. The intention right now is to make humans robots and robots human. All right, look at AI. AI want to know more about you. And AI, everything, AI is falling you. So think about it. The more you speak to it, is better get. All right. Same thing with us. They are taking everything from the human function, and we have to invoke what we desire in our life. We have to create it. We have to create the word manifest. All right, manifest sound like a real spiritual word, but manifest is also manifesting negative things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
what you think about, you bring about. So what are you manifesting? So that same individual is what they're thinking about, is what they bring about. And they need to stop that. Just remember, just as how you can't stop your eyes from blinking, you cannot stop your mind from thinking. So what you think about, you bring about. So jump and shout. What you think about, that's what come out your mouth. So
Mm.
garbage in, garbage out. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Negative in, negative out. Right?
Yeah.
And look at the people. So we come back to look at the people who always negative, who always, because that's what they think. They need to change, not change, they need to rearrange the way they think. They need to rearrange the way they look at things. Right? I am saying to everyone, for many spiritual teachings, they tell you count it all joy. All right. So, right, Richard, if you lose money in the stock market, if you have a debt in the family. So that's why how people get out of grief is you celebrate the life of somebody. Celebrate.
Yeah.
You could cry for a time, but celebrate. Celebrate. And that is what get rid of grief, and that's what bring joy. So so when somebody died, I say this, we celebrating that person's life. But the thing is, did that person celebrate their life when they was alive? And a lot of
Mm.
people don't do it.
No.
I hate this word, rest in peace. No, I don't want to rest in peace. I want to live in peace,
Yes.
right? So we have a lot of things backward. How could you live in peace? There's a saying. All right, so let's go back again. How could we live in peace? By my lady, I as I went, I work with not work. I support so many people, and I realized from celebrities to millionaires, billionaires to broke people, everybody have the same issue on this planet. What is that? Emotional baggage.
Yeah.
Emotional baggage keep you in bondage and have you thinking passive. What is
Oh.
emotional baggage? A lot of us can't overcome or cannot manage the things that bring us down. All right, let's go back. What is emotional baggage? You could be very wealthy, and you sometimes say, why people wealthy? Why this person have everything and why did they kill themselves? Because they can't handle emotional baggage. Remember, as I say at the beginning, it's not what you eat that defeats you, it's what is eating you.
Yeah.
If something is eating you, it will defeat you big time. So emotional baggage is the things that bring us down, like worry, fear, doubt. Remember, doubt take you out,
Yeah.
right? Stress, right? Pain.
Yeah.
So think about it. If I could, those things steal your joy, right?
Mhm.
So worrying is negative meditation. Worrying acronym, worst occurring reaction regarding yourself, right? So instead of worrying, so I could tell you about worrying, but instead of worrying, what could eliminate that negative emotion? Be concerned, but not to worry. I am concerned about the things that's happening in the world. I'm not worried. So as I'm concerned, no, I still maintain my joy because I'm concerned, right?
Yeah.
Listen to the things, do the things that, remember I tell you, invoke those four elements: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. You can't just have joy by just saying, all right, let me read this book, or joy is something you have to cultivate, you have to create in order for you to be in a place where you could truly, 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 truly maximize your full potential. Smiling, all these things, you know, just expecting great things to happen, living in being realistic. As I mentioned, if you are not expecting anything to happen, regardless of relationship, business relationship, if you are doing retreats, you have to see everybody receiving everything. You have to see everybody happy. You have to see all these things. We have the capability and the capacity to do that. Forecasting is not just for the weather. We quick to listen to the weather forecast, but you could forecast your what is ahead of you too.
Yeah.
So we just saw a weather forecast. All right, thunderstorm, boom, bam, tornado. All right, but what is my forecast for the rest of the day? My forecast, you could say, all right, I'm forecasting a day of joy, abundance, prosperity, good health, cosmic vitality, because I deserve a life of ecstasy. This is not just for certain people, this is for all of us. So let's come back. How do we manage the things that that steals your joy? Because everybody coming to steal your joy.
Yeah.
How do we manage? Yeah, how do we manage things to steal your joy? By continuing to align your inner conversation with your heart desire. I will repeat that. Align your inner conversation with your heart desire. So when things go the way you don't want it to go, just tell yourself, the universe got my back. Things always work out for me. This too shall pass, you know, um, and continue to focus on the outcome instead of the income that is affecting you.
Wow. Oof. Richard, like
Mhm.
talking to you is pure life. Everything that you shared sounds so simple, and many of those things I I do implement. Um, and I see so many things that I could really implement more of. Like my incantation, it does fall off at some point during the day. As I'm listening to you, I'm listening and I'm taking like a an audit, right, of
Mhm.
my way of being. It's like, am I invoking joy and harmony throughout my day? And yeah, this is why this has been my constant companion. Look, my and my favorite chapter is da, 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 um overcoming frustration.
Yes. You have to.
Yeah, it's like the hear you say powerlessness and doubt invokes some form of frustration upon our lives. So
Yeah.
frustration originates from feelings of
Mhm.
uncertainty and insecurity, which
Mhm.
stems from a sense of inability to fulfill needs.
Mhm.
And basically that's why I chose the incantation. I get to have all these experiences because I'm the ultimate joy goddess, right?
Mhm.
So all those things that were coming at me, I made them like beautiful opportunities
Mhm.
because otherwise it would have taken me out because
Big
there was
time.
so much doubt.
Mhm.
And the things that were occurring were devouring me. And I believe I don't want things to swallow me whole. In general, I don't want life to swallow me whole. And so for me, I had to always remind myself, no, this is happening because I'm the ultimate joy goddess. So it's like a rebuilding. And I still have pains in my elbows, right? Because this is where frustration lives. So sometimes I succumb. And so as simple as everything that you're sharing is, I know that it's not easy. I mean, I really know that it's not easy. And I'm looking at you and I'm marveling like the way you are joy and harmony. Like that's your vibration. This is like my first time actually seeing you live, right? And even in our conversations, it's like I could literally feel it lifted my vibration just talking to you, you know? Even I couldn't hear your voice when I'm reading your book again.
Mhm.
Like I'm amazed at like there's not even a sentence in there that makes my vibration drop just even a tiny bit, you
Mhm.
know? And I'm so curious, like you really, you're really like a vibe. Like how, I know you just explained how you cultivated that, but it's just like, what is my question here? You just are joy and harmony.
Well, and so you use the word vibes a lot. So vibe is feelings.
Mhm.
Vibes is feelings. So when you say the vibes is good, that means you're feeling good. So a lot of times we use context of like vibration, So the vibes is feeling. So you and I'm putting myself, have to cultivate that feeling that will put us in a great, what they call vibration. What is vibration? Is just that aura of feeling around us. So your mood is your frequency. So when people say lift your frequency, you have to cultivate and stimulate a mood that is conducive to what you want. So let's look at some example of that. Your kids approach you based on what? Your mood,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
If somebody with a bad mood walk into a room, what happened?
I feel
Right.
bad. Yeah.
Because your mood is the only thing that extends out of you. Your mood is your Wi-Fi. I'm serious. You're in a good mood, you have 5G. You're not in a good mood, you have no G. You can't connect. Think about it. When you have no connection, remember, connection have no complexion, right? So you and I, once we have a mood that is a positive mood, that is the catalyst for joy. The
Mhm.
feeling is the vibration. So remember, happiness is a feeling, joy is an emotion. We take this MOOD for granted. Now think about it. Ooh, something now come to mind. Drum roll, breeze, drum roll. Remember, we as humans, we function on mood.
Mm,
Based on the car you drive, function on mode, MODE. So if I am driving in the snow, I change the what?
mode. Yeah.
Correct. Nice. Because I change the mode to adapt to the environment.
Yeah.
So and I must have the mood that is conducive to the environment that we in that could allow us to stimulate joy. I'm
Mhm.
serious. That's how we as humans. All right. So anything you're thinking about, what you have, why this mood is so important. Let's say you want to have an intimate time. You got to be in the what?
Mood.
If you're
Yeah.
not in the mood, that's very rude, right?
Yes.
You can do what? You got to get into the mood,
Yeah.
right? All right. What are you in the mood for every day? That's what you got to think about. Remember, how you sustain your mood is based on how you respond to day-to-day life.
Mm.
So, based on how you respond to people, that's why they have first responders. They don't have first reactors. Yeah, because when you react, you throw yourself off,
Mm.
right? So your mood is real. I have to protect my mood, my positive mood. So you may say, all right, Richard, what brings the positive mood? The music I listen to, the activities I get involved in, grounding myself, my incantation. And keep in mind, I talk about 108. So that's why you need to have your beads, and you could 108 beads, they call it malas as well. And why you need to remind yourself about yourself all the time. Humans need to be reminded. So this work, if joy is a lifestyle, we can say, all right, this day, evening and night is over. Next day, the same thing over and over until we leave the planet. We have to cultivate a particular what? vibration, and a particular frequency. That's why I say when you find your mood, you find your frequency. So think about people. If you know someone, oh, this person is always in a bad
Mood.
you'll never see they're in a bad state or they're in a bad mood. And when
Right.
somebody's in a bad mood, you can't connect with them. They close themselves in. They are not extending out the positive energy. So you got to remember, what is your mood around people? Is your mood cultivating joy? Is your mood cultivating the things? Because everything, Amazon work on your mood.
Mhm.
Everything work on your mood.
Yeah.
So if you buy this, you're going to be in a better mood. All right, people drink you do you drink, you do all this thing is to always get when humans are in the right mood, when my mood and you, we all different. So when you find your mood, you find your frequency. Then in life, I am in my true place when you find your mood. So my mood is it's that joy, man. I love that. So I listen to the music. I wear the clothes, the colors, the things that enhance my mood. Yes. I make sure that my mood is enhanced. Anybody's dehanced. So that's why when you look at the news, what happened?
I get in a bad mood.
It enhances your mood. When you look at the news, you get confused by, all,
Yeah.
all the abuse of the repetitious abuse. So I'm telling nobody not to look at it. I said not to look at the news. But think about it. When you look at the news or when you do, oh, Richard, I must look at the news. I need to know what's happening. Yeah, it's true. And I understand that. But once you marinate yourself into what makes the news effective, negatively effective? Your reputation over
Yeah.
and over and over. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. All right. You have to continue to repeat yourself the things that you want. And, you know, I am telling you this because I see it work, not just in my life, and so many countless people I've shared this with. I see this work. Your joy starts in your home. Please don't think you don't want to be you have a particular attitude at home, and then when you go out, it don't work like that.
Nope.
Because what happened is that your mood, remember, your mood carry with you certain frequencies, as I mentioned to you, and you gotta be authentic because joy, your true test for joy is when you're by yourself.
Hmm.
When nobody's around, do you still have joy? Or do you have to go somewhere? Do you have to go on social? Do you have to call somebody? Do you still have joy? So find things that will invoke that joy within you every day in every way. Repetition, my lady, it work. It works so powerful. And it's healing for the spirit, body, mind, and soul. I'm so happy that I could truly do the things that cultivates that joy and keep away from the people who are not doing that and they can't see that. But if they are open to 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 conceive it, yes, I could share it with them. No, you say you're a goddess. That means you don't want to be modest. You are a goddess. So come on. Live your live that cultivate, create, stimulate that life or that vibration that you desire by reading the books, wearing the colors, the clothes, conversation, enhancing that mood, invoking the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, making sure that you have those four elements in check, in harmony. This is really important. Make sure you have, all right. So, as a former engineer,
Yes.
an airplane need four laws of physics to fly. You know that, right?
Yes.
You know what is that?
Yes.
What it is?
Uh, what is it? Low thrust.
You're correct. You
Wait,
could
there's two
take one.
more.
Come on. Four. All right.
Uh,
Yeah, all right. Let me help you out. I don't want to.
yeah, help.
So it's the airplane need lift,
Lift,
weight,
right.
thrust, and drag. That's why you gotta weigh a suitcase. Yeah, I'm serious. You can't just put your suitcase and everybody can't just, you have to be a particular punk. So that is calculated. So that four elements must be in harmony. If not, the plane will not leave the ground. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with us. Within our bodies, that happy chemicals that boost your mood, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins must work in harmony. So I can't just give myself dopamine, or I can't just give myself oxytocin, or I can't just give myself serotonin, or I can't give myself endorphins. Once I do the things that have these four elements working in harmony. So remember, I'll come back to this again. How dopamine is the rewarding chemical. Reward yourself. Oxytocin is the love hormone.
Mm-hmm.
Serotonin is the mood stabilizer. And endorphins is the painkiller. So find the reward, love, hormone, the stabilizer, and painkillers. Find ways to kill pain when people come at you and hurt you. What do you do to kill the pain? Listen to music, go for a hike, laughing, mourning. Mourning is very important to kill pain. Do
Yeah.
you mourn? Right? So we mourn when we have sex. All right. We mourn when we take psychedelics. We mourn when we have physical pain. But sometimes when you want to get emotional baggage out of you, you could mourn by the same chants. Om, ah, you don't hold it in, right? So all that to kill physical pain. Why? Because joy need that clearance. Because you can't remember, joy is a consciousness. You can't have the consciousness of joy and worry at the same time. It don't work. It don't
Yeah.
work hand in hand. Because one allow you to spiral up, one allow you to spiral down. Let me give you this analogy, my lady. Drum roll, please. All right. So the car that you drive, right, have reverse gear. You want to think, why does my car have reverse gear? Tell me why.
Sometimes I have to back up.
Sometimes you got to back up. Woo! How long do you back up for?
Oh, maybe like 10 feet.
No, but let's say, how many seconds?
Oh, yeah, like 2, 3 seconds.
All right, so that is one of the greatest analogy because why? The car wasn't designed to reach its destiny on reverse gear.
No.
You and I are not equipped to fulfill the journey of life just allowing worry, doubt, fear, indecision to be our dominant mood or our dominant thought. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I
You're gonna get
see.
sick. But
Yeah.
these things are there. It's there. You can't. No, you can't get rid of worry. You can't get rid of doubt. You can't get rid of fear. You can't get rid of nothing like that. It like weeds. You could do what? Weeds will come. I'm serious.
Yeah, they come.
But you have to take charge. This is what I'm saying. You could never go to no retreat or take no psychedelics and say, oh, my worry is done. Oh, man, yeah. Everything is gone. It's going to come back. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's built in. So reverse gear. So what the reverse gear is there is built in. So when we need to back up, we back up for a couple seconds. That's why they have something called the 17 seconds rule. I mentioned that in my book. And if you cultivate a thought for more than 17 seconds, that thought becomes your reality. So if you continue to focus, you gotta what? If you continue to focus on negativity for more than 17 seconds, you're gonna get that. That's what's gonna appear. If you do it for positivity, that's what is gonna appear. So you have to stop negative thoughts within 17 seconds. Think about your phone. Your phone, my phone. Our phone is giving trouble. We have to reset it. Once you reset it, it works well. If you call customer service, they ask, have you reset your phone? When you reset it, it works. We need to reset. Sometimes we need to back up, take in a deep breath, sit, reset, then go again. One of the things I know about producing music is that when you cannot figure out something, just stop. Come out of the studio, just go outside or go somewhere, ground yourself, and then come back. And then boom, everything works together. So I'm saying sometimes we need to reset when we are moving away from that feeling and that mood of ecstatic proportion.
Yeah, when we move away from our alignment.
Alignment. So you see, alignment. So think about it. Let me give you a next one. Drum roll, please. So what is, when people say alignment, what is really alignment? And let me reframe that question. What is alignment to you?
To me, it's when my heart, mind, and most deepest desires are on the same path.
And how do you get there?
Well, for me, it's through breath work and movement.
So people get there through breath work and movement because when you breathe, your breath, you are aligning yourself because, in the moment, and that is great. How do you stay in alignment?
By what I tell myself. I
Right. So
usually
we
go
call
back
it
to
your inner conversation, what you tell yourself. All right. So think about the importance of alignment. So alignment is really anything I'm not just saying this. You want finances, align yourself with the energy of money. You want love, align yourself with the energy of love. You want joy, align yourself with the energy of joy. So you cannot say that you want to align yourself with joy, but you're thinking about the things that is not in alignment with joy,
Hmm.
right? So think
Right.
about one of the greatest analogy of alignment. The key for your front door, or if you still have a key for your front door, or for your ignition for your car, in order for anything to happen, or to open the door, or to start that car, that key must be in alignment with the other aspect of the ignition or the door that is compatible. If you try to fight it, it will not go in the keys, right? You see?
Yeah,
Or once you get it in alignment, it opens up. All right. So let's go to you and I know. Because we hear this word alignment, alignment, alignment. Remember, your assignment keep you in alignment.
Amen.
So this is the whole thing.
Hmm.
You know what? If you really want to be, what is your assignment?
My assignment is to create joy and pleasure in my life, so I savor it.
So stay in that, and that will keep you in alignment. So any time during the course of the day, evening and night, you are not fulfilling that, you are out of alignment.
Mm.
Woo!
Okay.
So if you take a fish out of water, it's not in alignment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It may still be living for a little more time, but it's out of alignment. So I know that my soul desire, and one of the key things that keeps me inspired is that, and this is serious what I'm telling you, and even eh, my ancestors gave me an assignment, right? The
Mm.
things that they could not have done, I have to do it. So, in order for me to stay in alignment as I focus on my assignment, this is the key thing. I must do the things. What will throw me out of alignment? Negative thoughts, the people I'm around. Remember, my behavior, your behavior is your savior.
Mm.
Right?
You see the look on my face?
Right? So
Yes.
based on how you behave, that takes you out of alignment. So a lot of people say, all right, I don't know what is my purpose. I can't find my purpose because they don't know what is their assignment. So
Mm.
I know that, all right, I have some very lucrative contracts with many certain companies. So there's certain things it's not in my best interest to do. There's certain things I must do to stay in alignment. So I do the things based on my assignment that will keep me in alignment. And that's what alignment is about.
Mm.
Alignment is not, remember, spirituality, and I really want to share this with you. Spirituality is a mental function of awareness and going beyond human expectation. So spirituality don't have a dress code. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Spirituality don't have an appearance. is a powerful presence.
Yes.
Woo. Remember, let's go over this again. Spirituality don't have a dress code. You don't have to dress in white and have a this and that and she or he looks spiritual. He's a spiritual guy, and they have a certain appearance. No, what is your presence?
Yes.
When you are wrong, when what is extending out to you, that is based on your mood that you are in. So I always tell people, I don't want to mess up my assignment because I have to be in alignment with my assignment. So I do the things, I read a lot, I write, I work out. Why? I know that if I wrote a book on joy and harmony, if I am not feeling it, I have to get back into that big time. Think about celebrities, think about political figures. I think about there was a blog recently that was on social media about this CEO and this, right. What happened? What get them in trouble? Because they put themselves out of a what? A line.
Alignment.
Right. So that's it. So I have to do the things. If I know, if I go around, if I go in this environment and this environment is out of alignment, it's gonna mess up my assignment. So come on, that's how I live. I prefer stay by myself because my alignment is what? Having an effective night and morning ritual, gratitude, acronym for gratitude, as I put in the book, giving right attention to inner thought, unleashing divine enlightenment. Right. I must stay in that alignment. Why? Think about an athlete. Think about an athlete. Just think about any athlete. The key is for them to stay in alignment so they could function to the best of their ability. If they go around people and their behavior is not conducive to their assignment, they will be out of alignment.
Yeah.
So when we say alignment, we think, oh, is this big?
But you make it so like relatable and like,
it's got to be relatable,
yeah.
because it got to be relatable so everybody could, because a lot of times, a lot of people, and I realize a lot of specialists or what you want to call it, they make it feel as though it's only them could accomplish it and you can't accomplish it. And I am a closer. There's nothing such as closeness, my lady. They are closer to the divine. No, there's only oneness. So that's when you wholly means one. It's only oneness. And what a oneness is? Alignment.
Yes.
So you could do what? If I put tattoos all over my body, all right, or I do this, maybe for that, maybe I want to do something else. So that might be alignment with what I'm doing. All right. If I do all piercing, is that in alignment? Yes, this is an alignment. All right. But you have everything you're doing, the hairstyle you have, whatsoever, is that in alignment with your assignment? If I, like me, why it is I don't drink alcohol? You think I don't feel like taking a drink? It's very boring when I go to gathering and I drinking cranberry juice and green tea and everybody drinking alcohol. I'm serious. But I know if I drink alcohol, it's gonna take me out of my alignment with my assignment. Now, I'm not saying not to drink alcohol. Some people could handle it, and if it's not affecting your assignment, drink it, right? So this is the key thing. I and you and I must align ourselves with the things that brings joy, that is aligned with that. And that is what cultivate your joy and enhance your mood. That's it right there.
So simple. Thank you so much, Richard, for being here. I want to a little bit talk about, well, I actually want to close out the conversation because we've been talking for a long time, but we can have you back and talk more about what you're up to. People can find you on your website,
Jamtogrow.com.
.com. And also, boy, would I love to do a retreat with you. Yeah. And if we would do that, where would that be?
Most likely back in the Caribbean. But sometimes you need to get people out of their comfort zone. That's why a lot of people go overseas. A lot of people go, well, in our hemisphere region, where we live, is people go to Costa Rica, people go to Mexico. As I from Trinidad and Tobago, it's a great place to go. Tobago in particular is a special touch. Um, and it's always good to take people out of their comfort zone, let them reset. And that's the purpose of retreat, or the definition for retreat is retreating to things you don't normally do. So it's really good to go on a retreat and have an intention, set some intentions, so all the participants, it could be fulfilled. So they continue to enhance their alignment with their assignment. Because remember, we all have an assignment. We all have that. And if you on this planet and you don't have an assignment, I mean, you just revolving and not evolving. So that keeps me up, that keeps me gathered, that keeps me really inspired. Woo!
Oh, what an amazing way for me, for all of us to begin our day with this conversation of creating joy and harmony with you, Richard.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it was an absolute joy to be in your vibration during this time. And for those of you who are viewing and listening, sharing is caring. Share this with another heart, share this with another soul. But most of all, don't go another day missing out on your joy. Until next time,
Thank you.
you're welcome.